Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Beyond the Reels, where today we'll be going through a intergalactic fruity adventure. I have the privilege to welcome Tom Home Gaming's game producer, Mikhailo Pushnia, who's joined me in looking at the company's latest slot, Frutopia. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you, James. Hi, everyone. So let's start with the discussion of the Frutopia.
Yeah, let's do it. So before we actually just dive into the meat of the slot itself, can you just give the viewers a brief overview of Frutopia?
Sure. Frutopia is our latest release. This is the game in which we try to combine the classical fruit-themed slot mechanics, like a simple features like free spins or some multipliers with an interesting graphical twist, and also the high volatile math version. We believe that this type of the fruit-themed games with high volatility still resonate with the players, and this is like the most performing games which are on the market. And we also try to come up with something interesting, some interesting twist in terms of the graphics and the features for our fruit-themed games, because we think the game fruit-themed game, even if it's like the classical one, it should have interesting graphics which can attract the players. If we talk about the features in the Frutopia, they are quite simple. There's the Frutopia levels. This is basically different reels layout for different levels. There are 5 levels together, and each of them has different reel size. So the count of the symbols on the reels. Also, the ways to win is different, and with each new level, there is more higher and higher wins.
Mm-hmm.
When you will complete the last level, you will be awarded with the free spins, and there are also the energy core symbols, which help players to go to the higher and higher levels.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned there about fruit slots, because we're just going to focus on the theme now. Fruit slots, to me, they've been around since the dawn of slots, and they've always stood the test of time. Considering there's so many in the marketplace, there's so many different variations of them, and they're still popular, not within just certain jurisdictions, but kind of on a global appeal, on a global scale. So can I just ask why you decided to kind of incorporate the sci-fi genre within the fruit slot? And also, was this kind of the original idea for Frutopia, or did it change throughout the process?
Our initial idea for the Frutopia is to come up with the game in abstract style, but as you know, the sci-fi, futuristic, and abstract style, they are close to each other. So if we connect them, they look nicely. And even on the first version of the sketches, you can see that we have these platforms which hold the symbols, and this was the initial idea. When we came up with the game features, we decided that the levels ascending and descending will look really exciting with these platforms done in futuristic style, and that's why we decided to keep it.
And visually, as you can see, the game is really bright and colourful, against this kind of cosmic void of space. How important was it to make the grid appealing on the eyes for the player, just for engagement and retention? And kind of similar to the above question, but on the design of the symbols. Was that the original idea going into the game, or was there something? Was it more of a nitty-gritty appeal? Was it always bright and vibrant, or was it a bit more darker?
Yeah, this is one more reason why we picked the sci-fi and the space for this game, that we use the background of the space there, and you can see the stars, but they don't do a lot of light, and the symbols can outstand from the background really nicely. And this was the initial idea, and we even make the background more and more darkened, so the to make the symbols and platforms to attract all of the attention from the players.
And we'll start looking just at the base game spins. Can you just walk us through what players can expect to experience within a standard base spin in the title?
So as I previously mentioned, there are 5 different Frutopia levels. So during the gameplay, player will be moving between them, moving up and down. Also there are the free spins, which comes after completing the 5th level, and there is also the energy core symbols, which help you to progress through the different levels. with each level we try to keep their gradation, so the win on the 5th level is much higher than on the first one.
So talking about the levels there, because when I was looking at it, I was a bit like, oh, there's 5 levels here. How do we ascend or descend through them? Can you just walk us through the levels included and kind of how the player advances through these levels?
Yeah, so we have 2 progress bars, the green one and the red one. They are on the left and right of the spin button. The green one shows players' progress of moving to the next level, and the red one shows players' progress to moving to the previous one. So, in other words, by getting wins, player moves to the upper levels, and by losing, he goes back to the previous ones. Also, the number of required spins per each level is different. So, for example, if you're playing on the first level and you wanna go to the second one, you need to win only 1 time. But if you're playing on the second level to go to the third one, you need to win at least 2 times. And the same goes with the non-wins. We also have lives. These red arrows, they indicate the lives which you have per specific level. And after receiving a non-winning combination, you will lose 1 life. So that's how it works. And the lives also increasing with each level. So they starts with the second level, because obviously you cannot go to the previous level than the first one. And this lives are changing with each level. So on the second one you can lose 3 times before you go back to the first one. On the third one you can lose 4 times, and so on. So it's increasing like with the wins just by 1.
And another thing that you touched upon earlier was the energy core mechanic. Again, can you just give us a bit of information on how this energy core mechanic works and how the player will experience it within the slot?
Sure. Let me start with the idea how we came up with this feature.
Yeah, definitely.
So once we had the game features, the Frutopia levels in free spins, we thought that we need something extra, something additional. But we didn't want it to bring something like totally opposite feature from the ones we already had. So we didn't want it to have any like sync reels or stick device or something like that. We wanted rather to enhance the already existing ones, so the Frutopia levels. And these energy core symbols, their main goal is to make the gameplay more random and more interesting, because previously without them you have just like two possible scenarios which can happen. You win or you will lose, and this makes the moving through the levels not so interesting, and also the gameplay. So we decided to add energy core symbols. So there is a red one and the green one. Also, I wanted to say at the start that the red one doesn't bring anything bad, because we got this feedback from one of the players. Both of them help you to progress through the higher levels. So in case you didn't win and you receive a red energy core symbol, it prevents losing of 1 life. So you're on the same stage where you were before the pressing of the spin button, the only difference, you lost your bet. And the green one, it does the same thing. It also appears during non-winning combinations, but it additionally grants you one win, 1 green arrow. And by themselves, this is not like super interesting feature, but on the 4th or even on the 5th level, during like the math tests, I had this scenario for a few times when you have 1 life and 0 active green arrows, for example. And because of these energy cores in like 10 spins, you can go to the free spins even with only 1 life. So that's why we added them.
Cool. And another feature that, again, you've already touched upon a bit, is the free spins mode. The free spins mode, I think is kind of the custom of what should be at least included in a slot title. But how kind of difficult is it for a game producer like yourself to create a free spins feature, which again it's in pretty much every title? How do you vary it to make it engaging, and how have you done that within Frutopia?
Within the Frutopia, as I said, we didn't want it to make like too complex features, because we consider this game as more of a classical one with just like modern graphics. and we decided to keep regular free spins, like regular 10 free spins, which will be played on the last level. The fifth one, so you will have 3 reels with 5 symbols on each of them and 125 active ways to win. But we couldn't just keep the free spins there and add nothing, so that's why we decided to increase the hit rate. It's like much higher than in the base game, and also the wins in the free spins, they are also much higher than in the base game, even if we compare it to the 5th level. Also we have there like a gradation, the difference in the graphics, like a red background, which personally I found amazing, and I want to come back to the free spins. Also the sounds which has the gradation between the different levels, and like a different sound for the free spins.
And sound again is kind of important, just for the player's overall experience, and every supplier kind of has to have the player at the forefront of the mind, certainly when developing the titles. What has Tom Horn done, again you've mentioned about the sound, what has Tom Horn done to enhance the player's experience within Frutopia to keep them at the forefront of the mind?
Our main goal was to make the classical game, really classical game, which will be attractive because of a twist inside its features, in terms of the features and the graphics. So this was our main goal. As you can see in the game, there are used classical symbols such as fruits, bells, sevens, but we applied additional work to them and made them look like something unusual, like something in a sci-fi theme. Also, we have like most of the games have free spins as a scatter win. You get like 3 scatters or 3 triggers, and you trigger the free spins. In this game, we decided to keep it like the player can see immediately his progress of moving to the free spins, because he can understand that I'm on the 2nd level, I need to go to the 5th one to get the free spins, and when he's playing on the 5th one, he can also see his progress of getting them. So this is like additional excitement which we bring to the players.
And we'll just take it right back to kind of the start of the interview, where we talked about the fruit themes. As I mentioned, it's like fruit themed slots have stood the test of time. They really have, and they're really fun to play. Like honestly, I enjoy playing fruit slots. I think they're one of my favorite themes. Why do you think that players still embrace the fruit themed slots more than say newer themes or newer slots that come out with kind of more engaging gamification mechanics? Why do you think fruit slots still hold that kind of place in players' hearts?
I think that like the fruit slots, this is the first thing which comes to everyone's minds when we talk about the slots in general. So you just say the slots, and personal imagine some fruits. Also, if we talk to the people who's not really familiar with the slots, they also think of some fruit game or maybe book game, but mostly I would say the fruit game. And we can see that a lot of games are like in the lobbies are changing with some different characters, different themes, but there is like always the fruits games, the same fruit games, which are there like forever. And I believe this is like this is just how it is with the slots. Everyone likes the fruit games, and what can be done differently to them, I believe that this is the interesting graphical twists, and also in terms of the features which we can bring.
And the final question for me is kind of looking kind of to the year ahead. So first off, what are Tom Horn's expectations for Frutopia? And beyond Frutopia's release, what are how can Tom Horn kind of improve and move forward with their future releases? Like what has Tom Horn got planned for 2022 ahead?
Okay, so about the release, the game was released in the end of the December, so we already received some of the numbers, and they look quite nice. As we expected, this game performed nicely, and we think that this game will perform nicely through all of its life, because this is like a fruits game. As we said, all of the fruits games are popular, and also this one. Because if we talk about different games with some characters or some other themes, I believe that they start to feel old like earlier, but with the Fruits games, they are always relevant.
Mm-hmm.
About the upcoming releases, I'm not sure if I can tell you, but but yes, we wanted to implement new features, new themes for the slots, something which will attract the players' attention, and all you can is just wait for our releases and for the news.
Same way. You know what? I had to ask, but well done on the answer for avoiding that one. No, perfect. That's everything from me. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to speak to us today. I am excited.
Thank
to
you
see
for inviting.
No, it's fine. I'm excited to see what Tom Horn's got in store for 2022. And again, Frutopia, I've mentioned before, I love fruit slots, and I think this one has some longevity to really do well. So, congratulations on the launch.